Hi friends, my name is Zakib and welcome to my channel Developers Point. In today's video, we will be looking at how to create a connection string and pass it to SQLite. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं. Let's begin. Now in this video, what we can do is we can use a connection string or add a connection string to a SQLite that we can actually connect so that we can actually connect our application to a database. And the way we do it is we can add the connection string in our configuration files. Now here we can see that we have two configuration files here, namely appsettings.development.json and appsettings.json. But for now, as we are developing our application, then it's convenient to use our appsettings.development.json, where we can store these items that we don't mind other people seeing. Now when I say that SQLite connection string does not contain any password information, we don't supply it with any confidential information, so it's something that I consider safe to be inside a file that when we look at a source control later. I'm okay with this going publicly onto internet because I don't care what people see my SQLite connections. So what I'll do is I'll just go to the top of this file and just open a double quotes, and here I'll write something called connection strings. As you can see, it already shows me this, so I'll press it on tab and it should be pluralized. I'll explain why, but this need to be strings exactly. And then inside this curly braces we will specify a string called default connection. And for this connection string, like default connection, what we'll do is I'll specify a data source where which is equal to I'll be calling it as dating app dot db. Now as you see here, in the connection string we have created a default connection string. In this, here we can see that it requires no password, just we need to give a name of the file where we want to store our data. So it's very simple. And here we can see that dating app.db, and here .db is just an extension of that file. So what we are going to do is we will be passing this configuration to the options that we have created earlier in the startup class here. As you can see here, we are injecting the configuration class into a startup class. So what we'll be doing is we will be calling this configuration, which is calling this configuration method. So we'll be telling configuration, okay, sorry, I need to remove the quotes, configuration. So here we'll be getting that configuration dot get connection string, and here we'll be passing the name of the configuration. Yeah, here we can see that here we got an error saying that your startup project API does not reference microsoft.entityframework.co.design. So this is called a very friendly message where it exactly tells us what package need to be installed. So what we are going to do is we'll be just copying this line. We'll be copying just this line and we'll be going to our NuGet gallery, Control Shift P, and then we'll be typing NuGet gallery here and we'll be opening that. In the NuGet gallery, we'll be searching for the particular package. So here we can see that Microsoft.entityframework.co.design is present. So we'll be installing that in our project and we'll hit on install. Here it's getting installed. As we can see, it's referring to some packages and the package has been completely installed. And then we'll go back to our first terminal window, and again here we'll be recalling the old command back. So again we'll be hitting on enter to create the migrations. Here we can see that the build has been succeeded and it has successfully initialized the command. So what it has done for us, so we will be having a look at this in a moment. So we'll just close all these windows which are opened here, Here we can see that it has created a folder called migrations. Here we can see that it had created a folder called migrations. In the migration we have a in this migration folder, here you can see like we have 4 classes. The first one is initial create. Initial create will be having 2 methods, which is like one will be void up and one will be down. So down is used to drop the table and up is used to create the tables. Here we can see that like it has 2 columns, id and username. Id is like a type of integer and it has been auto incremented in SQLite, and as it is a id, so like it has been given as a primary key here, as I said you before for the naming conventions in my previous videos. And the user column is as usually as we have created a string, so it's a string type. And the other 3 classes in this migration folder keep the track of where we are and what we are going to do next. And here like I forgot to tell you one more thing, like as we have told you like we have used the naming conventions and the id is id, so like it has been a primary key. So like if you use the naming conventions, we specifically not need to tell the entity framework that id is a primary key. In the next video we will be looking at how to create a database using the update migrations. So please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel Developers Point. Thank you.